Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Street Smart Millionaire. Today, I want to talk about something I'm running into a lot, the emotional issue of money. So when I grew up, I didn't have any money. My dad was a garbage man. My mom worked at Sears. Everybody I knew had better stuff. They all had Levi's. They all had Wranglers. They all had Converse canvas tennis shoes. I, of course, didn't get that. And I was always like, I don't know if I was jealous, but I just kind of accepted that I wasn't going to have those things. And I think that's how a lot of people are. They just accept their financial situation. And when I first started making money, man, I went crazy. I bought everything. I bought junk. I bought stuff. I bought tools. I bought the best lawnmowers. I bought great clothes. I had a lot of cars. For a while, when I was coming up, I would get a new car every year, just wasting money because I had never had money. And emotionally, I felt so good about having this money that I spent a lot of money. Luckily, I've had a lot of great mentors. I've had 8. And one of them, a man named Bill Wortley, taught me about accumulating wealth. And he taught me that a man's not really based on what he has or what he makes, is based on who he is and how he shows up every day. And we spent a lot of time talking about accumulating wealth with character. So accumulating wealth with character means you work hard, you follow a really good plan, you take really good care of your clients, you take really good care of your employees, you save 20% of your paycheck every month for 30 years, you invest wisely in stable companies in the stock market. That's really what I looked at. And so that's what I've been working on for about 37 years since I met him. And I'll give you an example. Like yesterday was the worst day I ever had in the stock market. I lost a fortune in the stock market yesterday. It was horrific. I will tell you, it didn't rattle me because I know I've been an investor for 37 years. I know that's a buying opportunity. On Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I'll be buying more stocks because Monday was a crash. Tuesday will be stable. Wednesday, you'll see what it's going to do. I'll buy some stocks on Wednesday no matter what happens. Now, if the market comes way back by Wednesday, I'll buy a little bit. If the market got worse by Wednesday, I'll buy a lot. I always have some dry powder for emotional market swings, which make opportunities for me to buy. But I didn't get sad because I lost a lot of money yesterday. I don't get glad when I make a lot of money. I'm not emotional about money. And I think until you get like $5 million in the bank, money is emotional. It matters too much. You know, in the Bible, it talks about the love of money as one of the biggest sins. And I think the enjoyment of money is good. The use of money is good. The benefit money is good. The love of money is bad. So I think you love people. You don't love stuff. You don't love possessions. You don't love power. So I think emotionally, you got to get to the point where it's just leads, deals, team, revenue, profits. So I was coaching my business people that I started from the church. So my pastor had asked me about 6 years ago, so coach some local business owners because I want to serve the church, to coach some local business owners, help them make more money so they could give more money to the church. I love that. So I started with 10 guys. I'm down to 5 now. And we looked at their year ends last night at their profits. Everybody is up between 3x and the top guy is up about 12x from when I started 6 years ago. What do I work on? I work on identifying the perfect client, getting more of the perfect client, staffing accordingly to how much business you have, to how much staff you need, whether it's a restaurant, a landscape company, a plumbing company, a publishing company, a production company, a tractor supply company, whatever it is, we staff accordingly. We do not staff for the vision. That would be emotional. We staff for the current reality. Right now, I'm making cuts in my business. I think this year is going to be a little harder on the mortgage business. I think the economy is going to do well. I think rates are going to stay high. I think a lot of people have 3 and 4% interest rates and they're not going to sell their houses. So I think we're going to do less business. So every 2 months, I adjust my staff. So based on my December and January, I need less staff than I have now. So I have 2 people that are not working out. We didn't replace them. I have 1 person that needs staff. I moved somebody over from a floater position to fill that role. I'm going through all my contracts to seeing what I can cut. So I think it's a combination of revenue minus expenses equals profit. I'm hoping the new president understands this concept because right now our country doesn't bring in as much money as we spend, and we spend money ridiculously. We're like, oh my God, the people in California, they're burning up. We got to take care of them. Yes, but let me ask you a question. If you have a car and you own it free and clear, and you decide to not get collision insurance on that car, and you wreck that car, should the government pay to fix your car? No, they should not. So listen, I think that the people in California that need help should get some help. I think the people that were not insured properly or were not insured to the right amount, I think they're help. Like, I'm not going to want the government money to pay for some $5 million house to get rebuilt. Let their insurance do it. Let them do it. So that's my thoughts about it. I want to give people shelter and clothing and food. I want to protect people in America to get what they need. But I don't want to give people in America what they want. So hopefully, with the new President Trump, and we'll see a more friendly business and common sense mentality. But I think even with him, he spends more money than we have. So listen, I think that if you're going to raise revenue, then you can spend more money. But I will tell you this, I don't believe in debt. I think people get in debt because they were emotional about money. I deserve to have these clothes. I deserve to have this car. You don't deserve anything. I deserve nothing. I don't even deserve food and lodging. I need food and lodging. I don't deserve food and lodging. So here's what I'll tell you. I get everything I earn. I make more money than most of you because I earn more than most of you. I see more people. I make more calls. I do more loans. I coach more realtors and lenders than you do. That's why I get paid more money than you do. Now, I live a really simple lifestyle. My total overhead with all of my life is about $7,000 a month. That's what it costs me to live. So my one office building makes $38,000 a month net cash flow. Between the revenue and the expenses, it nets $38,000. So my rental building more than pays for all of my overhead. So I look at all my different businesses. Let's see. I've got 5 mortgage branches. I've got a coaching company. I've got a consulting company. I've got the stock market. I've got some property management. So I have my hands in all these things that pay me money. Everything that I have, I look at, does that pay my whole lifestyle? So what I look at is saying each one of my branches, each one of my businesses, everything has to make me more money than all my bills. So I look at it that way. Then I look at, that's today. Like, what am I doing to create the best lifestyle I can? So you want to live in 4 times what you make. That's how much house you can afford. So if you make $50,000, you can afford a $200,000 house. If you make $400,000, you can afford a $1.6 million house. It's not emotional. It doesn't matter what you think your house should look like. It matters what you can afford. Your car. Your car should never be more than a $500 car payment. I see people all the time, $1,200, $1,500 car payments. It's ridiculous. A car is a depreciating asset. So you buy a car, it goes down in value. You buy a house, it goes up in value. You buy a good stock, it goes up in value. You buy a hot rod, it goes up in value. You buy gold, it goes up in value. You buy good watches, they go up in value. You buy diamonds, they go down in value. So we want to buy appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. But people will buy a car because it makes them feel good. Don't make emotional decisions. So I follow the rule of 2 weeks. So if I want to buy something, I wait 2 weeks. And if I still think I want it, and my budget allows me to buy it, I will buy it. But I don't just need more stuff. I don't. So I'm telling you, I have 18 hot rods in my car collection. I bought myself a watch. Every year I've made $1 million. I have 29 watches. Every year that I've made $1 million, I buy myself a watch up to $10,000. I think it's a nice treat. I got my first watch from my first boss, Tom Hammond at Flagstar Bank, for being the top loan rep in the country. He bought me a watch. So I buy watches for all my loan reps that do 30 million. I normally buy 7 or 8 watches a year. So I buy myself a watch every year I make $1 million. I have 29 watches. It's just a ridiculous thing that's gotten to be like I have these big cases that hold all these watches. Now, none of my watches are more than $20,000. Most of my watches are under $10,000. They're all stainless steel. I wouldn't wear a gold one. I wear this watch every day because it was a gift from a good friend of mine, Scotty Foreman, who was one of my best friends and one of my best clients ever. Let me tell you about this guy. When he came to me, he made $230,000. Now he makes $12 million a year. When he came to me at $50,000 in the bank, now he's got $72 million in the bank. That's one of my greatest coaching stories. He's been my student for 17 years. We're not emotional about each other. Here's the problem. Here's the solution. Go handle it. But I will tell you, he's been a great student, great loan rep, great branch manager, great regional, great consultant to the #1 mortgage company in America. He just does a lot. Great consultant to me, does a lot of things well. And I will tell you this, he's always grateful. He always follows the recipe. Whatever I tell him to do, he does it. He doesn't question. So are you under somebody's authority, or are you just too cool to be told what to do? So listen, I believe in being under authority. I believe you're drifting, you're driven, or you're directed. If you're drifting, you're just all over the place. If you're driven, you're going really hard, but you don't know what you're going after and why you're doing it. That's important. If you're directed, that's when you break records. So I've always been a rebellious person, and I've always become super directed by somebody. Like I said, I've had these 8 people that have directed me. I look right now. Roy is my mentor. He helps me with my relationship with God and my marriage. Britt is my wife. I'm under her authority. And Ron is the owner of Cross Country Mortgage where I work, and I'm under his authority. So I have to do everything I can to make Roy happy. I have to do everything I can to make Britt happy. I have to do everything I can to make Ron happy. When I think about, am I doing things that make my mentor, my wife, and my boss happy? I have a good life. When I'm thinking what makes Rick happy, it's not such a good life. So when you're under somebody's authority, you want their approval. This is an emotional transition around money and authority. Some of you are like, I'm not going to let anybody tell me what to do. I'm in charge of my destiny. Well, how's that working out for you? You don't make very much money. You're not doing very well. Who's telling you what to do? So I believe in being under authority so you can someday be the authority. So I believe because I'm so under authority with Ron and Roy and Britt, I have the right to be the authority over many people. And let's be clear, I was taught a long time ago the big old pile theory talk. So if we go to the gym and you have really big muscles and you're doing 25 or 30 pull-ups, well, you're definitely going to be in charge of what we should be doing. Now listen, if you're a guy, the number of pull-ups you can do tells you how good a shape you're in. Pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups will tell you if you're in good shape, because that's muscle memory. So if you can't do 50 push-ups, you're not in very good shape. If you can't do a dozen straight pull-ups all the way up, all the way down, you're not in very good shape. I got the hiccups. I'm sorry. But listen, these are the tests of what's working, what's not working. So when we look at your money, it's tactical, not emotional. Whatever you make, you save 20% of that. You live in 4 times what you make for a house. You move up every 2 to 5 years to live in a house that you can afford. You drive a car with an under $550 car payment. So your car payment is not choking you and you're not overdoing it on a car payment. But these are things that I believe in emotionally around financial issues. You know, when I look at what is a good coach, you know, I've been in the coaching business for 30 years. I have helped 767 people net $1 million. 767 people. So if you're in real estate or you're in lending, you should hire me at the core to be your coach, and I'll help you make $1 million. Now, if you don't want to make $1 million, don't hire me. So I believe in life, the haves take care of the have-nots. I think people that have all the money give all the money to charities. You look at some of the richest people in the world, they give hundreds of millions and billions of dollars away to charity. I think that you want to be somebody that has a lot of money so you can provide for your family, create a retirement, and create a legacy. So emotionally, you want to get as much money as you can as fast as you can, so you can provide for your family and take care of other families. I have a lady that called today that I've been taking care of for 20 years. So she was a loan rep of mine 25 years ago. She never saved any money. She got in trouble. I always cared for her, and she didn't always do me right. She didn't always take great care of me as an employee. And she got in trouble, so I started helping. She called today, talked to one of my bookkeepers, and said, hey, I live in I'm 83. I just had a major heart attack. I live in a senior village. My rent went up $250. Can Rick help me out? So I said yes. So I increased her monthly pay that I give her another $250, so she has a place to live and she has food in her mouth and clothes on her back. And I will tell you that to give her that $250 a month is a lot to her. It doesn't mean much to me. I can afford it. So I gave it to her because she asked. So I will tell you, people all around you are asking for help. Don't ignore them. Make enough money so you can make a difference in the world. To me, this emotionally is the right thing. But I'm telling you, I deserve to make a lot of money. You don't. You earn a lot of money. I deserve to have nice stuff. No, you don't. If you've saved your 20%, then you can buy nice things. So for me, first I save 20%, then I give 10% to God's people, not to the church, to God's people, sometimes the church, sometimes the hospital, wherever I feel God's people are. I save 20%, I give 10%, I pay 40% to the government, that's 70%. I live on 30%. Whatever's in the 30%, housing, cars, utilities, I can spend whatever I want to accumulate money. So next week, we're going to interview a millionaire about how he built wealth and how he got it going. So last couple things I want to cover. Hire a coach. I don't care what business you're in, hire a coach. Hire a coach that's tactical about making you more money. Don't talk a coach about emotional issues. That's a therapist. And if you have emotional issues, go to a therapist. But when you hire a therapist, you hire the therapist for 3 months or 6 months. Otherwise, they will try to keep you coming forever because they can't go out and get new clients. So remember, the Street Smart Millionaire says you get what you earn. So if you want more, get a plan, execute the plan, and it always boils around referral partners. So I have 335 coaching students that pay me $40,000 a year. I have 85 coaching students that pay me $18,000 a year, and I have 550 that pay me $10,000 a year. I'm coming out with a subscription in the next couple weeks where it's going to be called the Core Club, and for $99 a month, any realtor, any lender can find out everything I'm doing, all that I'm training. You got my podcast to hear my thoughts about money. I will tell you this. I make 40 outbound calls a day. Like, this is not brain surgery. It's not emotional. I make 40 outbound every single day. Right now, I'm at 36 outbound. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. By 5, I'll have made 45 or 48 outbound is early in the week. I try to get my calls done early in the week, and I try to have a lighter day on Friday. So there's not a week goes by that I don't have 200 outbound phone calls. There's not a week go by that I don't send 20 thank you cards. There's not a week goes by that I don't see 30 people face to face. There's not a week goes by that I don't have 400 Zoom meetings. This weekend, I'm bringing all my coaches in for a coach's day in training. So I'm bringing all 35 of the core coaches. They all make between 1 and 10 million. These are my experts that help me coach. So we'll do a full day. So in the morning, I'll bring in a friend of mine who was a SWAT hand-to-hand combat instructor. He'll do some how to protect your body, how to protect your house. Then I have one of my local businessmen is partners with Joey Logano, the famous NASCAR race car driver, the best of the best, just won the national championship. He'll come in here for an hour and he'll talk to all my coaches about winning. Then I'll do an all-day training about how to coach, how to take care of the clients. We'll have a couple fun parties. We'll hang out with my coaches. So everything with me is success by design. It's not success by luck. So 40 outbound calls, 20 face-to-faces a day or a week, 20 thank you cards a week. I do at least 2 events a week. These are things that I do to build my business to get me good coaching students. Now, I think that I have clients that quit. I have employees that quit. Every time somebody quits me, it's because I failed them. I did not take care of them. If you are a manager or leader and you have people that quit, you failed that person. You did not meet their needs. You did not meet their goals or their dreams. You were not what they needed. It is your fault. The number one thing people hate is to change jobs. So if you're losing employees, it's because you're too emotional on the job. They need to have clear direction of what their job is. They need to be praised when they do their job well. They need a correction when they don't do their job well. So these are things that I have learned as a salesman, as a manager, as a coach, and a leader. So I got my 64th birthday coming up in a couple of days. I'm very thankful to have all of you in my life and follow me, whether you're in the core or just somebody that ran across my podcast. I want to teach about wealth and I want to teach about balance. I will tell you this. I'm 64 years old. I got 2 daughters that are 40 and 37. I got 5 grandkids. My kids are happily married. They own houses. They have good jobs. They raise good kids. I'm working really hard to be a good husband. I've been married to Britt for 22 years, and I work really hard to meet her needs and make her happy. It's not emotional to me. Most of my life is tactical, and that gives me enjoyment because it's like I'm not checking a box, but I'm doing things that are important to get the results I want to get. So I look at my whole life. I look at my relationship with God. I got a Bible study on Wednesday night. I meet with my mentor every Tuesday afternoon. I read the Bible every day. I go to church twice a month. I look at my love life. I hang out with Britt. I try to make her happy. I try to put her needs ahead of mine. We go on a date every single Friday. We go on a date. Sometimes we walk the dog. Sometimes we play a game. Sometimes we just talk. Sometimes we go out to dinner. Sometimes we go to a show. I don't do it with other people. I don't do it fancy. I look at myself. I work out twice a week. I try to do 1,000 reps twice a week. I look at my money. I save 20% of my paycheck. I give 10% of my paycheck to charity. I invest in really blue-collar stocks. I try to get 10% growth a year. I look at my business. I always set a goal to make 10% more every single year, and it's really simple. So this year, I'm going to make 10% more than I made last year. I'm going to get 4 new loan reps to come work for me. So if you know anybody in Michigan, North Carolina, Ohio, or Tennessee that's a loan rep that wants to come work for me, I'm always looking to hire people. I'm looking to add 40 new coaching students that want to pay me money and be great. If you are a realtor lender and you want to be great, you hire me and I'll make sure you get great. I consult to a very famous mortgage man. I help him run a better company, everything I can do to help him. So I stay very balanced and very busy. So I don't have time to get emotional and think bad thoughts. I live glad and mad. I'm glad and I'm mad. That's where I live emotions. I hope you learned a little bit about emotions and money and balance. Have a great week. Rick Ruby, Street Smart Millionaire, over and out. Hey, if you like this episode of the Street Smart Millionaire, send it out to 10 people. We're trying to get a wide coverage of people that are not just in the mortgage and real estate business that want to learn about wealth, want to learn about balance. That's what I try to teach about. If you want to join our club and you're in real estate lending, we got the core club coming out the end of January. Look for it. $99 a month, and you'll get all the access to everything I teach and everything I believe in. Follow us on all the sources, Facebook, all the different things. See you later. Rick Ruby, Street Smart Millionaire, out.